At the end of this month, the Morrison government plans to pull the plug on community TV in Australia. For Melbourne, this means the loss from the airwaves of community TV station Channel 31 after 25 years of broadcasting. For Adelaide, it means the loss of Channel 44 after 15 years on air. It's hard to think of a more boneheaded move by government at a time when media outlets are closing in record numbers and people in the creative industries are losing their jobs hand over fist as a result of the coronavirus downturn. To be clear, this is not a budget savings measure. Unlike the ABC and SBS, community TV is not government funded. For decades, Channel 31 and Channel 44 have been a training ground for aspiring broadcasters, producers, sound directors, engineers, screenwriters, and so on. It has helped launch the career of household names like Rove McManus, Hamish and Andy, Waleed Ali, Nazim Hussain, and Corinne Grant, to name a few. During the coronavirus lockdown, Channel 31 has broadcast live-to-air religious services. My Yayam Papu on my wife's side, they've been watching the Greek service on a Sunday. They do so religiously. That's why the Greek Orthodox Church, the Catholic Archdiocese, the Victorian Board of Imams, and even the Sikh Council have all written to Communications Minister Paul Fletcher to say, don't do this. So why is it happening? Well, the story goes back 6 years when the then Communications Minister, you guessed it, Malcolm Turnbull, announced a trial of new TV signal compression technologies on the spectrum that was being used by community TV. Well, that testing work was completed in 2018 and it was found to work, I'm pleased to report. But the new TV channels will not be available until the next generation of transmission infrastructure and TV receivers are adopted in Australia. And this is still up to 5 years away. All of which means that there is no actual reason for the closure of Channel 31 and Channel 44. And when they're switched off in 2 weeks' time, it will be replaced by nothing more than white noise. The first job of our political representatives is to do no harm. Yet the Morrison government is sleepwalking into causing great damage for no benefit with the closing of community TV in Australia. Prime Minister Scott Morrison and his Communications Minister Paul Fletcher have to come to their senses and act immediately to save community TV in Australia. Corey, you're a proud person from Adelaide. Surely you're going to be with me on this one. Sticking up for local voices in Adelaide and Melbourne, do you support saving community TV?
Nicholas, you know, as tempting as it is to condemn yet another decision of Malcolm Turnbull, you lost me when you said this gave rise to Waleed Ali. I'm sorry.
So was I. Shut it down immediately.
I do not give a hoot about Channel 31 and Channel 44. Sorry, Nicholas. No one watches them except for your in-laws. Good on them. And if you think that they're providing the opportunities for the broadcasters of the future, you haven't looked at YouTube yet or any of the other broadcast platforms that have so many more people actually engaging with them than these two down and out, soon to be shut down stations. So, mate, good on you for picking up a crusade, but might as well find one that's worthwhile in the future rather than talking about this sort of tripe.
Geez, that's a pretty miserable old view you got there, Corey, not sticking up for your hometown. Catherine, are you with me on this one?
Nicholas, I'm holding back tears here in Canberra, feeling your pain, but as a great man once said to me, when all you got's a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You haven't found a public expenditure program yet that you don't love. Let me give you a big tip, brother. Why don't you get the Belt and Road Initiative to bail it out? Get the Chinese Communist Party to buy out Channel 31. Or even better, I'll make another deal with you. Get onto Mad Witches, who tried to drive Alan Jones out of the media, and get all those gormless sponsors that they frightened off the Jones show to stump up and pay full freight to keep it on air. There's a simple answer to your problem.
Gee whiz. Well, I mean, first we had Corey. He wanted to try and turn saving community TV into the culture wars and have a crack at Waleed Ali, a very prominent Muslim broadcaster. Then, of course, for Catherine, it's something to do with China and Belt and Road. I don't know, didn't quite follow it. Bro, please, I'm reaching out to you. Are you with me here? Can we save community TV? Tell Paul Fletcher to come to his senses.
You've sunk to a new low. The things you'll do to try and suck up to your Greek in-laws. It's so pathetic. I can't believe you even raised this subject. I mean, and as I'm with you, Corey, any network that gave rise to Waleed Ali, you know, needs to be cut off immediately. Look, you know, get with the program, Nick. And anyway, if you were that worried about it, get your union buddies. Why don't you get either the Chinese Belt and Road mob, that's a good one, Catherine, but get all your union mates. They're flush with money. They can bloody well do it. You know, and they can use it as another propaganda machine for all their, you know, Labor lefty pontification. You know, as Corey said, you know, social media is on the money. That's where people now go to, and that's the rise of talent. And that's where people can talk about their local communities. So I'm sorry, you're barking up the wrong tree here. I'm sorry.
Well, you've completed the trifecta.
Good to hear you defending.
You've completed the trifecta
freedom of religion, though, Nicholas. Good to see it. I'll be counting on you to back the Archdiocese when the freedom of religion bill comes forward, and bringing the Melbourne Council with you.
You really have disappointed me tonight, guys. I mean, Prue's just rounded out the trifecta of cliches and trite arguments there. She had to bring the unions somehow into the argument.
Well,
I mean, wow, what a segue that was. I mean, just let me repeat a couple of basic facts for you here, guys. Community TV receives no government support, okay? Not like the ABC and SBS, no government support. And I would have thought as a free speech-loving crusader, Corey, you would at least sort of support the view that more views, more voices is better than less voices and less views. And the fact is, when they turn these stations off, they're going to be replaced by white noise. Nothing. El Zippo. And a politician's first duty is to do no harm. And surely the job losses and the loss of voices is something that's going to cause public harm. And so, therefore, you could come around. For your hometown, Corey, come on. Stick up for Adelaide.
Nicholas, trust me when I say no harm to the fabric of the society will happen when these things shut down next week. You've put up a valiant attempt tonight to recruit both viewers of those stations to the Labor Party, and they'll go in and support your pre-selection efforts, mate, but you're barking up a wrong tree. Let's inundate Nicholas Reece with emails of support for community stations. You won't get any, Nick, is my bet. But